Good morning. So we're on our way to Anniversary Narrows, which is about, I don't know, a 30-minute drive or so to the trailhead. Looks pretty cool. I did some research because I wasn't sure how dog-friendly this trail was, but looks like there's only one spot where I'm gonna have to probably boost them up. So it'll be an adventure. But that's not what I jumped on to talk about. I wanted to tell you what happened yesterday when I got back from my bike ride. So I just went and rode around here. There's a big 34-mile loop that goes from Lake Mead, Boulder City, all the way up to Henderson, and it loops around, and it's all trail. It's all paved trail. So when I left, I shut the door, locked just the handle. Stop. I locked just the handle. And left. But when I got back, the door was open. It was just open like a crack. And I thought, oh shit, somebody broke in, what's going on here? The dogs were both inside waiting at the door, so fortunately they didn't try to push it open because they could have just got out. And I just thought I must not have locked the door. It was very bizarre, but so I was just glad that everything was okay. Went inside, brought my bike in, proceeded to make dinner, putz around, and then so about an hour later, I took the dogs out just to go to the bathroom one more time before it got dark. And when I came back, the handle of my RV was locked, and I did not bring a case with me because I was just walking them out. I mean, it wasn't like we were going for a walk, So now I'm locked out of my rig. Both you can peer in the door window and see both sets of keys hanging on the key ring. And I was like, oh, what do I do now? I don't have my phone with me, nothing. So my neighbor was out, and I was like, I think I need some help. And it didn't even dawn on me. I didn't think the handle was locked. I thought it was jammed, because I hadn't locked it. So he comes over and he's fiddling with it, and he's like, it's locked. And I'm like, how is that even possible? And then I realized what happened was I had in fact locked the handle when I went for my bike ride, but I had not. You have to really slam my door to get it to shut. So I probably slammed it, thought it was shut, and it didn't. It popped back open. But meanwhile, the handle was actually locked the whole time. So when I got back, went inside, the handle's locked, and I didn't know it because I just pulled the door shut behind me. And, when the handle's locked from the outside, you can still open and close it from inside. So, anyways, here I am, locked out of my rig, and it's now dark and cold. And so I also see this guy one of the staff guys on his golf cart, and I ran up to him because I thought maybe he, knows a locksmith or RV mechanic or somebody who could get out here and help me get back in my rig. So he comes over. My neighbor's still fiddling with the door, and his son walks up. He was visiting from, I guess, out of town. He walks up with his phone, and he's calling somebody, and he's on the phone, and he's asking his dad if he's asking him questions about what kind of door latch I had. And so turns out he knows a guy just 20 minutes up the road who sells RVs and has the master key to get into all of these rigs. So he drives into town, gets the key, comes back. On the way back, he stops and gets me one of those little metal hide-a-key boxes for me to stick on my rig, which I should have anyway. And then got back and they got me in, and it was just oh, good. But I was thinking about it. Obviously, I was super appreciative. While the son was driving into town to get this key, I just went and hung out in my neighbor's rig and talked with them and had a beer. They were just such nice people. And afterwards, I thought, you know, this is just another example of like everything just always works out. Whenever I'm in a situation, I put myself out there. You're bound to encounter situations in life where you're gonna be somewhat vulnerable. But when you do that and you know that everything is just gonna work out, everything just always works out, help is always on the way, that's how your life is. You know, like, what are the odds that my neighbors, first of all, would be outside at the same time I was, that their son would be visiting from out of town, that he would happen to know somebody in town, you know, who sells RVs. So it's just, and as it was happening, as I realized I was locked out of my rig, it was interesting because, like, there wasn't a moment of panic or like, oh shit. It was in my mind, it was more like, I wonder how this will play out. You know, I knew it was going to be fine because it's always fine. But anyways, I just wanted to share that story because I think it's important for us to remember that it's always going to be okay. Things always work out. I've gotten myself in a lot of jams when I've been out traveling by myself, and the jams have never lasted because what I need, the help that I need, always just appears. And I think that that is something that's really cool.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again.
Well, I think we're at an impasse. We've got this ledge here that I can get the dogs up on. I'll show you. That's it. That's kind of high for them because it's probably about Probably about 5.5 feet or so. I'm afraid about Lola having to come back down this. Well, Lucy too, but let me try. Lucy doesn't want to go. No. All right, well, we got to see it. Here we go back. All right, well, we did as much as we could, and that was very worth it and very cool. It definitely would have been helpful if I had another person to help me get Lola and Lucy up that second ledge. I don't know how many more of those there would have been. Come on, Lucy. But still pretty freaking cool to see, even if we only got to see a quarter mile of it. So now we hike back. Are you sleepy, girl? Are you wore out?
straight.